Hold on, but let me post it up in LRH and let them know that we're doing our thing. Let's see. I think Facebook CDN is back live again as well. God, it took them a little bit to get that together. All right, cool. So I'm gonna let.
It's live.
There we go. So let's let Pound LRH know. I can't believe we made it to episode 9.
491 to go.
Oh my god, I'm not doing 500 episodes of this.
We'll be like 70 years old. Zartet will still be asking about that iron ring he has.
It's silver.
Silver, sorry.
I can't believe that nobody has cast Detect Magic on that ring yet.
I'm getting it next level 7. Level 7, I'm getting Detect Magic.
Level 7.
I have a giant note in my notepad file.
What if it's just nothing?
It's probably
It'll be worth it.
No, it's
At least then we'll know.
I'm not gonna give it away, but all right, so let me let boom, Irc Dnd Adventure number. I only linked this in like our Discord and then the the how mods are born and then the new like weird well, hold on, it's neither here nor there. But let me get back to our D&D session right here. All right. Hold on, I just need to correct our top bar because it's actually Irc Dnd Adventure number 9. A lot has happened since our last adventure right here. I put out a new book. Woo! And that's about the sum of it. Everything else is garbage. But all right, well let's get down to it right here. So if you've never tuned into this stream before, this is an D&D 2nd edition adventure. These people are trying to determine what's going wrong on a giant shoal called the Daramaeus. We have Angie, our ranger, over here on the left-hand side. Next to her is Kuntz, the impetuous fire mage. At bottom left is going to be Logic, rogue and rapscallion. And then Zartet is our druid and master archivist, and he's going to let us know what's been going on in the adventure thus far.
For sure. So, previous to last session, Kuntz had tried to cast friends on some, or rather, tried to cast friends to improve his chances of sweet-talking some soldiers at the Black Rock Stockade, but instead they shot him dead with arrows while he was blind. They gave no fucks. That's where we were previous to last session. Last session, we were still outside the stockades. The guards retreated from their posts to leave us to our fate outside of the citadel as night fell. The refugees outside of the walls were suspicious of us, not just because of what just happened, but also because of the beggar that Kuntz had killed previously. We hear above us a wing of demon gulls, and panic besets the camp of refugees. The campers begin to throw rocks at us, and they try to swarm us as well. 10 refugee men approach, one with a torch scar on his neck. He calls out for us to surrender and give up all our food, while stones continue to fly. Zartet steps forward, while Logic is detaining Kuntz, and lies to the men that Kuntz is our prisoner, and we're attempting to bring him to justice for killing one of their people, and also to discuss a possible cure for the blight wreaking havoc. 2 campers step forward at this mention, and they are clearly suffering severely from this blight. A fever pitch is coming to a head as the hundreds of people outside of the citadel begin to panic even more. Angie draws Bisbee's blade, and people take notice as the moonlight glints from her blade. The men fall back. We continue to hear the wings of the gulls overhead, but it's too dark to see them. Logic attempts to beguile the campers by encouraging them to hunker down in the face of the swarming birds, but we also notice explosions of light high in the sky from where the wing sounds are coming from. A short while later, we see these creatures closer to the ground as they crash and explode into some of the campers that were throwing rocks, and we see them to be some kind of fire bat. Yet another example of high strangeness from the Daramaeus. There are fire bats everywhere, and pandemonium has broken out. Scarman tries to take advantage and attack, but realizes his compadres have abandoned him and he runs away. A firebat crashes near us, but we're able to dodge away as a sulfur cloud is left behind. In the full moon, we could see a larger dragon-sized bat circling around the citadel. Soldiers from the towers are taking shots at it, but it lands on one of the walls, seemingly unaffected. It is very large, 12 feet tall, 20-foot wingspan, and walks on two legs. The chaos is too much, and we attempt to run away towards the east. Others are running as well, and fire is spreading. Doesn't look like there's much hope for Blackrock stockades. Everyone feels bad about having to turn tail and run. We march in the night about 4 or 5 miles away towards the east. No one followed us or is going in the same direction as us. Logic leads us through the night into a forest along the road, but it is dead silent. No animals stirring, no leaves rustling, no insects chirping, nothing. Only the wind. Everywhere we look, everything is dead and covered in the red miasma. It's like we're marching into hell. We continue forth towards the coast, where more sea caves similar to the ones at Honeycomb are. Logic hears wings flap overhead, but we can't see what it, or he can't see what it is. Thinks we're being followed. He lets us know, but no one else sees anything. As we approach the caves, it looks like a rusty red tide has washed up a bunch of dead fish. Logic and Angie scout ahead into the most hospitable-looking cave. No signs of life except for some wind-strewn tracks that appear to have been that way for a while. The cave turns left, and they come across the crab-eaten bodies of 2 men who died in mortal combat. They have knives on them, and one of them also has a tin icon of the Penny Priest. Otherwise, the cave seems safe. We make camp and begin our watches. On Angie's watch, she scouts around on the smelly dying beach. She notices an old, large, black stork with one milky white eye staring at our cave. Angie approaches with bow ready, and it lifts its head. It does not appear to be blighted or mutated in any way, but flies away from her. Angie wakes Zartet for his shift and tells him about the strange stork she saw on the beach. On his watch, though, he doesn't see the bird, and morning comes. As the sun comes up, the stork does appear, and Zartet immediately knows this creature to be an elder druid. Zartet greets him in druidic, and the stork slowly and painfully begins to change back into human form. He's blind in one eye with a long beard and climbs up the dunes to meet him. We get acquainted, and he's from about 2,000 miles south, scouting out things going on the island. He's flown over the Darameus, and like Morion, explains it is the source of the corruption. This is Visanthus, the Winged, a legendary druid, but somewhat of an outcast in that he's not above destroying encampments that encroach on the wild. He's a radical for the cause. Visanthus goes on to explain the nature of the corruption and the layout of the Darameus. The water comes into the shoals, but as it leaves with the tide, it is red. A comet seems to have crashed here, and all manner of evil characters and creatures are descending upon the area, including sorcerers, who are inevitably corrupted. He implores us that something must be done, and tells us something must go below, or that someone must go below the shoals on low tide to approach whatever it is. Magical healing is the only thing that keeps the blight at bay, but it will take a whole cadre of druids to right this. Visanthus is too old to do this himself, and it will take him at least a month to get back to his enclave and convince him. He tells us what is needed now is a hero of old, like a Meriwether the Master, Mir the Peerless, Harlan the Warrior, but they're all gone now. He wonders if any heroes remain. He tells us to go to the Darameus and take a healer. Any information whatsoever would be helpful to the circle. Cave's going to be explored 12 hours each day while the tide is low, but we must find what there is that could destroy whatever it is. Visanthus cures Zartet's wounds and then creates 4 living wood rings to help ward off blight. He also shares a secret druidic phrase that can be uttered if in danger. Visanthus transforms back into the stork and flies away. We are 2/3 the way to level 6 and are camping. Kuntz is no longer blind. Storms and red rain fall on the sea. We're about 15 miles from Vorabrink.
Okay. Well, welcome everybody to episode 9. Thank you very much, Zartet, for a stunning retelling right there. Do you remember what that magic word was that the druid told you?
It wasn't, we didn't determine that.
Okay. Well,
I don't know Druidic in real life. I don't even think it's a real life.
Oh, fucking poser. Look at this dog. Okay, well, after almost 2 days of well-reserved rest, all of you are recovered. Mainly, the most critical part is that your mage's eyes are back to 100% after being spat upon, thanks to careful tending by Zartet and a steady diet of good berries that has kept you from having to eat any of the tainted fish that are around, and preserved you through drinking water that is not all that it should be. And over the 2 days, you start to see that there is more of the red rain falling. The land is in terrible danger, and you worry about traveling overland without access to shelter. Fortunately, the next day, when you leave, it doesn't seem like there's any clouds in the sky, and in fact, there's a ominous stillness in the air. So Zartet, ever the active dreamer, last night you had a dream about a silver star that shone to the south, and that you were alone and following it. And as you followed the star, you came to a spot on the land where there was a giant bird's claw sticking up, 3 talons, and one of the talons pointed right towards a river. And you decided to follow along that river, and as you did, a great winged shadow fell over you. You started trying to run, but the wings beat faster and faster, and then in the distance, you could see the glint of silver beneath a barrow mound. And then you woke up moments before you were swept up in the talons. So this is similar to, I believe you had a dream earlier in the adventure. So
Kuntz had a dream about the comet as well.
yeah.
A
lot of dreams happening in this thing. Well, the party is now about 15 miles away from Vora Brink. So all of you have been adventuring for some time, and you have resolved. Did you resolve that you were going to try and be the heroes of old and try to save the land?
Yeah. So I tell the rest of these guys as they're pardon me, as they're getting ready for the day, kind of what I discussed with Visanthus, and I present them with their wooden rings and tell them, this is some magic shit, above my pay grade, but he says this will protect us from the blight. He just pulled him right out of a piece of driftwood. Never seen anything like it in my life. But he tells I tell them all that Visanthus and the other druids, just like Morion, were imploring us to do something about the Daramaeus, and it appears that, from what happened at Blackrock, these people are really quick to scare here, and we seem to have some experience with this, and it might be falling on us, or at least me, as a druid here, to take care of this and restore glory to Goodberry Farms and to Pies and the rest of West Moria here.
So, Kuntz, in the night, you two had a dream in between your watch and the dawn. Yours was a dream of a man with no eyes looking for you while you were running sort of all over the wasteland, trying to find a place to hide while this big eyeless face searched for you in the sky. And then you woke up wondering what the fuck that was all about. And then Angie and Logic, I'm sorry, no dreams worth recording. Maybe you're dreaming of treasure.
Or smoke too much weed.
I guess you've been hanging out in a cave.
Treasure as always, yeah.
Yeah, for
Just
like
very tired.
Just hanging with this druid.
All right. So the way to Daramaeus is to the south and the east. All of you set up fairly early in the day, trying to get there while the weather holds good, and always keeping an eye out for shelter in case the red rain should return. As you venture south, you're seeing more...
You mean Vorbrink?
Yeah, Vorbrink.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what you're headed for there. So you keep your eyes to the sky and try to search out for a place where you can shelter should the rains come. You're seeing more flights of demon gulls, but in general, the land is almost entirely silent. There are no birds outside of the big gulls. There are no crickets chirping. To you, Zartet, it feels entirely unnatural, but even people less attuned to the natural world can tell this is nothing good, and it bodes ill for everybody on the entire island of Moria. Okay, so you travel for about a quarter of the day without any significant incident. After a quarter of the day, a few of the gulls start circling around above you, but they never quite make up their minds to attack. About midway through the day, your party has traveled almost 5 miles since you've set off, and you're starting to see red-tinged clouds on the horizon, and wondering if there might be a storm headed this way. Just the red rain becomes more and more apparent as you travel on. You see more blighted regions. And one of the things that you're beginning to see as you travel closer is formations rising out of the blighted regions. Spaces where trees have been stripped of their leaves and are covered with sort of a red lichen-like growth that's starting to fan out in other directions. You can see it's starting to grow spikes in places and branching out in others and casting tendrils across the land. And as you walk deeper and deeper into the Redlands, you start to get the feeling that everything is moving. And you can hear a sort of low, like a weird, almost insect-like sound of commotion, but they're not like any crickets or cicadas or anything that you've ever heard previously. So this goes on until about midday, where it seems almost...
Sorry.
Yeah.
All of that's similar to like what we saw in Pies, right? It's not a different kind of miasma.
So it's very difficult to say because you're not sure whether the situation has gotten drastically worse than what you saw in Pies, but everything seems to run a little bit deeper. Where it was just strange at first, now it's unnerving, and the feeling of wrongness grows deeper. And in Pies, a few places you would see this sort of the red rain moving on its own accord or dripping down the side of a building. But the places where it had fallen and just killed everything, they were mostly still. And now you're starting to see evidence of movement and more evidence of big fields being overwhelmed with whatever this is. And you're starting to see deeper streaks of black running through some of the darker areas there. It just seems like all of this stuff is moving, almost too slow to see. Like if you ever have watched a plant turning towards the sun.
Like a starfish crawling or a lichen growing, right?
Did the druid tell Zartet, or did Zartet tell us what the rings do at all? Do we have any idea what they do?
It protects us from blight. That's what was said, so...
But he did not say anything about the red rain, as I recall there. So definitely keep an eye out. Okay.
Oh, I had drawn the assumption, the equivalence there, that the blight was, that this was some sort of blight in my own mind. Is that... Well, I guess that's a question for me to find out.
Yeah, you'll hopefully not the hard way. All right. So as you go along, the smell has improved. It's no longer that rotten smell of death that was everywhere, and there is a strange, almost metallic tang in the air. As you're walking along, something starts to bother you, and it's that there's a star in the sky that should not be there. Shining, so the laughing star is the southernmost star that ships will sometimes set their way by there. It's a silver star, and it corresponds to one of the gods of the realm that has long since stopped answering prayers. It's known as the Wander Star or the Gypsy Star, and answers the prayers of lost travelers, wanderers, minstrels, and prostitutes.
And it hangs which direction in the sky?
It hangs it wanders, but it should be towards the south at this time of the year, but it definitely should not be visible at noon. So you can see that silver
Is the laughing star or the what was the other star? Which one?
This is the
one we're
laughing
talking
star.
about?
Those are all different
They're all
names for the same
thing.
star.
Laughing Star,
Yeah.
Wander Star, Gypsy Star.
So this is one of the gods of the realm is associated with this star, but they don't answer prayers any longer. Whereas once they walked the realm in avatars and appeared before people and performed miracles, they have long since stopped doing any of that. And so people have turned to penny priests and philanderers and sorcerers. And so it's strange to see that star in the south shining despite the fact that it is midday. But
Very strange.
it is a star, so there's very little that any of you can do about it right now. But again, the feeling of oddness pervades. So you draw closer to Vorabrink, and you're starting to see the outline of the rise that the town is sitting on in the distance. One of the things that you're noticing now is that where there were trees and things previously, now there are large branching structures, and some of them wind over the road. And in places, you're seeing areas where basically the bushes are budding off into tendrils and anemones. And up ahead on the road, there's a space where the road has almost been entirely overwhelmed with the tendrils of this red bush. So you could give it a wide berth by growing south, or you could choose to investigate or try to hack your way through.
I don't know if we should try and hack our way through it. I don't even know what this stuff is.
Yeah, we don't know what.
Around.
Yeah, we know what this shit is capable of. Even with the ring, I don't feel confident engaging with. a
However,
slime
here's an
in the road.
idea.
Yeah.
Perhaps, and maybe this is stupid, and I'm sort of addressing this to the ranger and the druid in our party here, but if this is going to get worse, steadily and steadily worse as we go on, maybe this is a very low level form of whatever this is. You know what I mean? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Maybe
like
we can
it's
experiment
just
with it or see something.
Sure.
Right. Does that make sense?
It's worth investigating. I mean, I haven't seen this black stripe running through this, whatever it is.
Okay.
We didn't even see that in pies,
so
so
logic-
it's worth investigating.
As you were trying to convince the others of that, you're noticing something, a spot where you had assumed that it was just another tendril, but you realize that it is the outline of a man who has been overwhelmed and completely covered by this. And it looks like
Let's go around.
yeah. As you're looking towards him, you start to make sense of the tumble and jangle of the vines, and it looks like one has skewered him in the back and then grown all over his skin.
Nice.
Yeah, and he's sort of decayed into the road, and sort of red feelers have spread out all around him there.
So, quick question. At the start of the day, we were 15 miles from Boravink or whatever it's called.
Right now, you're probably about 5 miles from Vorabrink.
4 or 5 miles. Yeah, I say we just go around this stuff and maybe take the 6-mile route. That's a bit safer.
Yeah. As we're going around it, I kind of want to huck a rock at this thing and see if it responds to any sort of stimuli like that.
Okay. Let's.
What's the environment? We're like, this is a forest road.
So this road is more coastal. There are seagrasses, but it's also fairly rocky. There are places where rocks rise up, where you have to go through sort of like box canyons, and definitely like there used to be a fair number of olive trees on this road, but all of them have been killed by the red blight. You have not seen a living tree all day. Everything has been rained on and destroyed. So logic. You hurl a stone at the red tendrils that have grown across the path. Your first stone misses, and then embarrassingly, your second stone also misses. But before people can make fun of you too much, you manage to nail it with the third. It bounces off with a sound almost like you're hitting bone, and you note that chips fly off of this thing, and it is, oh God. Oh, shit. Hold on, something amazing just got shipped to me. Oh, damn. All right, that was important. Yeah, that looks about right to me, Zartet. Very, very close. So you see that it shatters, almost like shale or thin bone or whatever. So you're realizing that this red growth is not as it's not very tough. It breaks away. So, oh, shout out to Corticans. Thank you for subscribing. So
Cheers, bro.
yeah, that's what you found. Yeah, it just seems like it looked tougher than it was, and it just sort of broke apart like crystal when your stone hit it.
Are the pieces of the crystal root, are they the pieces that broke off? Are they doing anything? Are they animate? Are they immobile? Or what? I mean,
if
can
they're
I
doing
make that
anything,
out?
it's too slow to see from this distance. Also, you're throwing this rock from a distance of about 30 yards.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so this is your first time getting close to these kinds of formations. So the party decides not to investigate the impaled corpse, and you ford the road by taking a detour of about half an hour, weaving around it, avoiding other similar type things. Shout outs also to Tulpa, who has just joined us right there. Everybody loves Tulpa.
Big Tulpa.
Okay, so you continue on your approach to Vorabrink as the noon sun rises high, and you, by the time it's about the hottest part of the day, about 2 o'clock, you can now see the hill that the city is built on in the distance, maybe some 2 or 3 miles hence. You come to a spot on the road where the road it's a crossroads, essentially, with a bridge over a stream that is shallow enough to wade in. Once there was a bridge here, but it looks as if it's been burned. All that really remains is just a few timbers jutting over the gulch. So the stream is it is possible to wade on it. Zartet, at the crossroads, you see that there is a sign where once it used to be a sign pointing in every direction, but one of the signs has been knocked off, and now there are just 3 signs pointed askew this way, kind of like a bird's claw.
Mm-hmm.
And so, just taking a look at the
anything written anywhere?
Yeah. So this is all written in Iranic. So one points to Vorabrink. One of the remaining signs, which is pointed straight up in the air, points to Blackrock Stockade, and the thirdmost one points to Saradil, which is a sort of jungle town, maybe about 20 miles to the south.
Yeah, but they're all pointing askew. So
yeah, they're all pointing askew.
Does our ranger know the best way?
Yeah, smart.
Yeah, Angie. So it's pretty clear which way it goes to Vera Brink, right there. So just taking a quick lay of the land right here. So this river seems a little less tainted than other places that you've seen. It must be flowing from a spring to the south to be so uncorrupted there. Just most of the other streams and so forth that you come across are have just turned red or pink, and you've been relying heavily on your canteens. So there is sort of a reddish tinge to it here, but you get the feeling that there might be a spring further to the south for the water to be this clear, so close to the Darameus.
Okay. I think as a druid, um, one of my abilities is to be able to identify
Mhm.
clean water.
Yeah.
Like, will we be able to drink this?
This water isn't especially drinkable, but further to the south, maybe if you're willing to walk. Well, you can't really tell from here, but you are definitely able to tell that the water is cleaner closer to the south right here. And this is one
Coming
of the
from like
yeah,
uphill or something like that
yeah,
to
yeah,
the south.
yeah. It's running from a spring to the south and probably runs out to the lake. Uh, and and unfortunately, like there's not a lot that's alive here. But one thing that you do notice are a few salamanders that are sort of growing among the mud. They're just living there. This is the habitat that they would be in. They like to hang out under leaves and near in places that are dark and wet, like by a stream like this. And looking at them, you can see that they have not been mutated or touched by the blight in any way, shape, or form. These are just regular salamanders. But don't eat them; they're poisonous.
Yeah. I say we follow the river. Fuck this
Yeah,
road.
let's check it out.
Okay. So you follow the river, is struck a little bit by the resemblance of the sign to the talon in your dream. And just like in the dream, you follow the river south for some distance, and you notice the water gets cleaner and purer as you head towards the south. And until you see it again, you realize that your eyes were kind of hungry to see something that wasn't poisoned. It's just been so long that you've been traipsing through this unnatural landscape that you start to see signs where there are some amphibians still alive. Like in places in the stream, there are tadpoles. At one point, you even hear a frog croaking, just looking out, and there are tufts of plants and grass that are still surviving here along the stream. And it just really reminds you of how much the rest of this place has just been despoiled and ravaged. Okay. What
Yeah.
order are you
I,
guys
I,
walking
I let
south?
everybody know that I feel like I had a dream about this.
That's good info. And I want to thank Stratum for mass highlighting the channel. What a G.
Yeah, shout out.
What was your dream about?
I dreamt of the laughing star, the gypsy star. But it was like deja vu seeing that sign.
That's wild.
It was pointing to the river in my dream.
Okay.
It was a bird's claw.
Ooh. Okay. What order are you guys marching forward in? Like who's scouting forward? Who's at the rear?
Well, I guess I'm in the front.
Yeah, I'm somewhere towards the rear because I'm like processing my dream and shit.
I'll go towards the front too. Try to.
Guess I'll be in
So,
the back since I'm a mage.
what's your wisdoms, Angie and Logic?
Minus 12.
13.
13? Okay. So as you guys are scouting ahead, Angie, you remember a story from your old days about this river. So you know that the name of this river is Firebelly River, and that once upon a time, there were a lot of people who used to brew illegal whiskey over here. And in fact, you spent some time heading over here and rooting out some of these clandestine stills because a few of them were causing people to go blind. So they just with the incomplete distillation, it's not like they have access to quality glassware out here. But people would essentially make whiskey out of all sorts of things along this river. And you remember a story about a guy named Unarigan who used to sell quite a bit of whiskey here until you and King Geordie's men from the garrison at Vorabrink started cracking down on these guys pretty heavily, demanding taxes from them, busting up their stills if they resisted, expecting bribes. that kind of thing. And Unarigan would never pay any sort of tax, and in fact, sort of melted into the landscape and would set traps for you guys, and actually wound up severely wounding a few different people and killing at least one there. And they could never find him when they sent parties, like bounty hunting parties, out to find him. Yeah, he's sort of a little bit of a legend among the townsfolk. One for eluding the king's men, but also for being kind of like a weird dick. Not well liked. And sort of the only reason anybody talked to him was because he made good whiskey. But anyhow, as you guys are walking, you're recounting this story of Unarigan to Logic, telling him about, yeah, I remember this guy, and he was always like setting traps and fucking around and so forth. And it's a good thing that you told him, because Logic, it's your keen eyes that spot the trap up ahead. So just a little bit before, a little bit ahead of you guys, there's a spot where it looks like just a regular stretch of land, but because you know a fair bit about traps and so forth, you can see that, like essentially, it's a layer of sort of woven vines and leaves thrown over a pit trap. And if you weren't careful, you might have blundered right into it and been impaled, like that one legionnaire that just got ate up by all those urchins. So yeah, that's thanks to the two of you. You avoid that trap and realize that there may be others here. You're getting into what you would call Unarigan's territory. You're probably about 30 minutes south along the river. So Zartet, you're starting to see increasing signs that some force is combating the blight here. You can see areas where the blight has actually died off and turned into like a gray dust in some places, where it has like grown into the river here. So as you continue further south, keeping an eye out for traps, Logic, I am doing a perception check for you. Good. And then you're good. Okay. So you don't find any other traps as you're moving south, and you start to get into an area where you find like the ruins of a still. It looks like there was like a large explosion here, and somebody's still blew up. You can find like the copper remnants of it that are all tarnished, and as you're like looking around the still area, you can see a place where like a great deal of blood was spilled. Sometime probably, most of it has been worn away by the rain, but in dry places and spots that are like a little bit sheltered from the rain, you can see that somebody lost a tremendous amount of blood here. But it's probably been, I want to say, about 3 weeks since whatever happened. And there are
normal rain,
that's
right?
what I was gonna.
Say that again.
Normal rain.
Normal rain so far. Yeah, you don't see evidence that the red rain has like really fallen on this area. Yeah, so this is just an exploded still, and it looks like somebody was badly
Did the
injured.
traps? Did any, or I guess the one trap look like it was at least that old as well? Or
Yeah, that trap has probably been there longer. Like it's been there a little bit, but just from the composition of the trap, like the fact that the leaves, it's still in good shape, wind hasn't bloated it away, and so forth. Somebody tended to that thing at least within the last like 4 or 5 months.
What's going on with cunts right now?
I'm just hanging out.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's been like unusually quiet this adventure.
enjoying his vision. He's just stunned by how
Maybe he
beautiful
learned a
everything-
valuable lesson about majoring.
As soon as Logic started throwing rocks, I was gonna say I'm standing nowhere near Logic when he's doing this.
well, I was going to be standing away from everybody.
Well, I'm wondering if I should like call out for Unarigan and just see if he's out there or if there's anybody out there.
You could try if you'd like to.
Could
Yeah.
I maybe call out
How
in
well do you
thieves'
know this
cant?
guy?
I mean, apparently I used to like hassle him for taxes and stuff, but this is kind of
Yeah.
a different circumstance nowadays. So
Yeah,
Logic, you said a thieves can't?
Yeah, if we're looking for the guy, maybe there's a chance that he has some knowledge of thieves' cant, and maybe that would get him down here better than the
well, I'll tell you
police officer.
one thing that I know
Yes.
about thieves' cant. It's not the type of thing that you scream out. It's really more for like subtle conversations, like, "Hey, what do you think about it?"
Hey, I'm a thief.
yeah, there aren't many. There aren't many like. It's not like The Wire where you're like, "Hey, yerp, what that?" Yeah, it's not happening right there. So if you want to call out to Yanarigan, you can, Angie or Logic, but you don't know of a shout out to all thieves in camp. It's much more of a low, subtle language.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I try to? I mean, if they're bleeding and maybe they're still alive, like
No, this has been some time since this is
Mhm.
you're looking at dry blood. Yeah, whoever,
But no body parts or anything.
no body
No
parts.
arms for me to collect or anything.
No, sadly.
Oh,
I mean, I think we just continue to move.
yeah, let's just continue.
Okay.
If he's
Oh.
probably watching us anyway, if
Mm.
we're on his shit.
You decide against.
I don't know. So here's the deal with. I don't want to. So, I mean, if anybody knows anything about anything around here, it's going to be this guy, and he's an expert at staying away. Now, I'm assuming that we've all talked about this guy, and so we all know who this is.
Mhm.
But I'm assuming that he's probably the best person that we have available who has a rundown of the area, what to avoid, where maybe what's going on, something like that. You know what I mean? I feel like we should not just walk away from this potential opportunity.
Yeah, no, not at all. I don't disagree, or I don't. Yeah, I don't agree that we should run away from this. I think if Angie feels like she has a familiarity enough with this guy to shout his name out and say, "Hey, we know you're out there. Just come talk to us," or something like that.
Yanarigan.
Exactly.
All right, yeah.
Hey,
All right. Well, you raise out your voice and call out to Yanarigan once, twice, and thrice. Your cries just echo out into the landscape. The place is utterly desolate, and there's no response save the creaking of the occasional frog and the sound of the river flowing. So, Yanarigan,
keeping an eye to the sky.
Yeah. Oh, it's good that you should say that, Logic. Because when you look and keep an eye to the sky, in the distance, to the west and south, you see a rather large shadow flying to the south. And it looked like it was heading just directly south. But at the sound of the voice calling out, you see it sort of start to tilt in your direction there, as if it could have potentially heard your cries. Do you know?
Oh shit, guys!
That's what I was worried about. Sorry.
What was that?
No, I'm sorry. I'm the one that said we should do it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
There's a creature. It's flying. And yeah, it's coming here now. I suppose we should
I had a
cover and
dream
get
about
ready.
this too.
Yeah, as you're looking at the sky, it has sort of bat wings, and it reminds you of the form that you saw descending upon Black Rock Stockade. That big monstrous thing that just ate men like bread on the ramparts.
hey, Logic, do you want to try throwing a rock at it?
I mean, I could try shooting it. Wait, okay.
Okay. So right now,
Yeah, what is the lay of the land tactically?
let me give you an
Do I
idea.
see like a barrow mount
You don't see a
or some
barrow
kind of
mound
hill,
right
big
now.
hill?
So here's how the land works. You guys, just ahead of you a little bit, the land rises up a little bit into rapids. And there's an area where there's a slight waterfall that the river goes across. And then above it, there's sort of like a flatlands there. So there's definitely high ground above you. So if you're worried about archers or ambush or whatever there, the high ground is probably about a 75-foot climb to get to the top of that right there. So the land kind of
But
rises
here we
up
have
in all directions.
ruins, correct? We have cover.
You have
here
the
that's made of
ruins
stone.
of a still
But they
right here.
explode.
It's like a shack, probably.
Yeah, so it's unlikely that this still is just out here in the absolute middle of nowhere. Probably somewhere nearby is some sort of a shelter or an entrance to a cave or something like that. So in the distance, you can see that whatever is in the sky has definitely taken notice of you and is starting to fly around you in a wide circle at a distance of probably about half a mile away from you.
Just a quick question: did we ever enter into the city of Vorabrink?
No,
Or are we, like, on the
Vorabrink is
outskirts?
about at this point to the east, about 2 or 3 miles from you.
Oh, okay. So we never actually arrived.
Yeah, you never actually made it there. You took a detour to search for the Fountain of Youth, or at least the fountain of clean and clear water. That's somewhere along this way.
Well, we should probably separate and not be all together while this flying creature seems to come for us. Not too separated, and just sort of prepare for battle.
What if me and Angie head up to the top of the hill to scout and look for some better shelter? And while you're up there, you can have your bow ready, and maybe if it comes and gets at you, I can backstab it or something. You know what I mean?
Is this
Does
a
that sound
hill or a
reasonable?
cliff?
So what you're looking at, it's there's like a series of rapids sort of cascading down. So you could definitely climb up there. They rise up about 75 feet, and then there's sort of like a flat mesa type structure. This is just a spot where the river descends from some distance. And okay, so if you want, the two of you could head up there and try to take a shot at this thing.
I mean, I kind of think it's better to try to take a shot at it rather than let it dive bomb us and blow up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Okay. So there, and there. Okay, cool. So do all 4 of you want to head up there to stay close in case there's a fight, or do you want to spread out or follow some kind of other thing?
Since I'm a ranged character, I'll sort of stay back 25 yards from everyone else.
Okay.
Just in case this has some sort of AoE attack, or
Gotcha.
he can stomp on us or poo on us. I don't know.
Yeah, it's very typical for like a magician to hang back a little bit and try to stay out of the thick of it. So that makes sense there. And then Angie and Logic, you're climbing up there. Zartet, what are you doing while this is going on?
Well, I'm useless against like
You're
a
never
flying
useless.
creature.
Yeah, you're never useless.
I mean, I'm going to say a prayer first of all.
Are you praying now?
Yeah, I'm praying as soon as I
Pray
saw
to the
this.
laughing star.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm praying to.
Okay.
Well, the laughing star doesn't answer prayers.
Yeah.
Maybe you
maybe
should
this
equip your
is
silver
before.
ring.
I don't know. Okay. Yeah,
I got the
that is a
silver
question.
ring.
Are you wearing the silver ring, or was that just a chance to flip off? Yeah.
Quick question, Lo. Does the flying creature appear at all to be a Canadian goose?
No, it looks much more like a giant bat-winged man in the distance, and
A
it
Batman, is it?
it has bat
he's like
wings,
the
but I'm
12-foot
not
tall
sure.
motherfucker.
It looks a lot like that, but now before you saw only its shadow, right? Just sort of like its outline in the flames and so forth. And here in the light of day, you can see that it's like a giant winged man with claws for hands and just scraps of cloth hanging off of it. But
Do they have arms or
it
arms
it
and
looks
wings?
like it does have. It looks like it does have arms.
Okay.
But it's still some distance away from you, sort of circling around you.
It's like all
And,
the other mutant people. It's just with bats.
He's a demon.
Or a demon.
It could be a lot of different things. Okay. So as you guys are moving up, cunts, you're climbing after them along the slick stones of the river, and you actually trip and fall, throwing your hands out to catch yourself. And as you do so, you notice that the rock shudders under your hands, right? You sort of like slip on a piece of lichen or whatever, and the rock moves under your hands. It just shakes a little bit. And there's some give to it, which is not usually the case with rocks. So you think you may have discovered something here, because it definitely sounds hollow and more like it's possibly like wood, basically coated to look as if it's rock.
Hey guys, these rocks don't feel normal. They moved. And maybe I pick some up and show them the rocks.
Okay. Well, it's actually the big, like sort of the side of the rock face of the cliff that you've like sort of slammed into there. You look, but you can't really see any place where it would be a door or whatever. If only you had some way to break through. But all right, so Kunz is calling out to you that he's found something. Meanwhile, the bat-winged thing is circling closer. It's sort of spiraling towards you, never taking its eyes off of the four of you.
Is it close enough for us to see whether or not it has a yellow utility belt on?
You don't see any sort of bat symbol or bat logo or any kind of batarangs. So you've wasted your turn wondering that, Kunz. Angie, Zarta, and Logic, what are you doing?
How far away am I from Prince?
You guys have been climbing, but he's only been keeping about 25 feet away from you. So you guys, I would say, are about halfway up this thing. It's just sort of like a careful climb up rocks and like over rapids and so forth. You don't want to slip, so you're taking your time making it up there.
To refresh my memory,
and be like, what is it? Is it a cave? What is it?
I'm not sure. Do any of you have a wooden staff or any type of object to hit it with?
I mean, I've got Bisbee's blade, so I'm.
Is there a log, any old wood around you guys?
You guys could probably pick up
rocks.
Don't you have a hammer, kid?
Oh, that's right. I have a hammer. Well, next turn, I'll try my hammer out.
We're gonna be dead.
Okay. So, Angie, you've been keeping a close eye on the thing in the sky, and you notice that it decides now is the time, and it swoops closer to you. Oh, shout out to somebody.
Oh, it's right behind you, Angie.
Yeah, it's right behind you. It almost got you. All right, so it swoops closer. So Logic and Angie, you were in the path. Oh, holy crow. Yeah, thank you so much, Ra, for that very generous donation. Hell yeah. I'll put it towards Dungeons and Dragons.
I thought we were all dead.
Yeah, there's it was chat armor to keep you guys from dying.
Chat armor, yeah, hell yeah.
Okay, so
I'll take it.
As the demon, it's increasingly clear that this is some sort of a demon. It has horns. It has its eyes are just they're too far to really see away, but there's just a weird glint to them, and it's moving its hands as it dives towards you and casting some sort of a spell. So Angie, it's at quite a distance here. It's probably about 150 yards away from you. This is going to be quite difficult to make a shot, but you can take a shot, or you can, the two of you can scatter and dive for cover.
Has it seen the both of us for sure?
Oh yeah, it's seen all of you. It's well aware of you where you're at.
We're on the cliff face. We have to get out of here.
What if you go down and I'll just take a fucking shot before I go back down? Maybe scared a little bit.
I'll wait for you. Go ahead and take the shot.
All right, send it.
All right. So you line up an arrow at the beast while it's diving down on you, casting some sort of a spell. Bands of magic are flying around its hands, and you can see a look of surprise in its eyes as it dive bombs down toward you. It definitely expected you to run. Oof. So.
God damn it.
So your arrow just flies directly under it, right there. how apropos, Zartet. It's back. The bat's back.
Give
Oh,
it a
no.
man face.
Yeah. So unfortunately, Angie, you spent so long lining up your shot, but the thing is just it's swifter on its wings than it looks for something so large, and you are unable to dodge when it casts its spell. So a ball of purple and black flame blasts down at you. So Logic, what's your dexterity?
16.
16. Okay, cool. So you're able to roll kind of and stumble and fall, sort of a little bit of all three, down, away, and into the stream, like as it's rushing, and manage to avoid most of the danger. You take 1 point of damage just from scrapes and cuts as you're getting out of the way of this fireball. So, Angie, the fireball descends and blasts down directly onto you. And everything around you is engulfed in purple flames. And you are completely engulfed and take 19 points of damage. Everything around you bursts into flame, and you are on fire right now. Yeah. You're just engulfed.
Oh shit!
This burning flame.
Academy Award-winning performance right there.
That's not good. That's not good.
Yeah, that's so all of you hear
Can you just, like,
this
jump
explosion
into the
above.
stream at all?
Say that again.
Yeah, I was just thinking to grab her and throw her in the street.
Yeah,
Yeah,
now would
up
be
in
the
the
time to. So if you want, you can make your next action to be to like run and try to douse yourself in the stream.
Yes.
I'll drop and roll
Let me think
into
about
the
that.
stream.
Okay.
Let it burn.
All right. So Zartet, you can hear this fireball like explode above, and then Kunz and Zartet. Now you have a chance to act.
All right.
How-
I'm gonna cast web on it.
Okay.
Or
Well, you're
how about
like
sleep?
so right
Like
now.
as a mage, does sleep work on most monsters?
Just FY, you as a magician, you know that if this is indeed a demon, sleep will not work on it.
Okay, I'll go for web then.
Okay. You're gonna have to climb up to get into a position where you can cast web. So you're gonna be a second before you're able to get there. Zartet, you're a little bit closer to the top. You can see this huge monster land close to Angie while she's like on the ground, rolling, trying to put herself out, and it's advancing towards her. So you have an option to act, possibly drawing its attention or doing something.
Yeah. Where am I exactly? Like
So
in
you-
relation to that?
You are just about at the top of the path. So this whole thing is taking place sort of at the top of just a small waterfall. Right there. So you're maybe about like 10 feet down. You could climb up there. And so you have climbed up there, just at the sort of like the lip of this mesa up there. And you can see that the demon has landed and is advancing on Angie.
At the bottom of the mesa?
Yeah, well, so you guys have been climbing up
Okay.
sort of like along this waterfall. It's like not like a just crashes down waterfall, but where it like spills from rock to rock and sort of makes its way.
I follow.
Yeah, you're not at a huge river right here. This is more just somewhere between a big stream and a river.
Okay.
And it runs
creek.
across. Yeah, bigger than a creek. Yeah. Yeah, so it runs across this mesa, and then there are some highlands further further along the way. But yeah, so you can see this beast approaching her. It doesn't seem to see you right now. Its eyes are on Angie.
Okay. Am I close enough to be able to cast Shillelagh
You absolutely
on
can.
the spear?
Yep.
And I guess attack him with it?
Yep. You can. You cast your spell and then charge at the demon, sort of taking it by surprise because it was really ready. It did not expect anybody to. The thing
Just
about
like
these,
jabbing it in the ribs
the
or
thing about
however
these
close I can
demons
get.
is like they're very arrogant. They always think that everybody's going to be afraid of them. They don't expect people to fight back, and it's not prepared for you to come rushing at it with a spear.
Yeah.
So you go after it with your spear, and at the last moment, as you're charging forward, it sort of whips around and knocks your spear aside with its wing.
What?
Yeah. It
Even I did cast prayer.
yeah. Yeah.
Even
Even though you
without-
cast prayer,
Okay.
this is
Just
a
making sure.
this is a powerful opponent, and even the power of prayer and your ensorcelled spear were not enough to give you the drop on it here. So
Okay.
it whips at you and your spear, almost knocking the enchanted weapon out of your hands. And now it's
In
turning
that
towards
instant,
you. Hmm.
am I able to sneak up on it and try to shiv it in the ribs?
If you want to go for a back attack on this guy, you're going to have to spend another round sneaking around him right there. Because you guys were all climbing up the river right here. So you're going to have to try and approach from another angle if you want to get a sneak attack off, just because of where you're positioned. All right, so Angie, while this is happening, you've been rolling on the ground, and you're not far from the stream. You're still smoldering. You could hop into the stream if you want to put yourself out.
That is what I would like
Okay.
to do.
So you run and toss yourself into the stream. The fire continues to burn, even underwater. So you take another 2 points of damage. What are your current hit points?
With 2 more, that puts me at 10.
10? Okay. You're still alive. All right, so Kuntz, you're now, you're climbing up to the top there, and as you are, you can see Logic being like, shh, don't give me away. Because he's sneaking around to the side. But you're now in a position where you can see Zartet ahead of you and the demon moving towards him. The demon towers over Zartet. He is fully 12 feet tall, and here you can see that his eyes are just rings, like pupil, iris, nothing but irises, all the way to the edges of his eye. And the irises rotate independent of each other. It's a mesmerizing effect. And what is your wisdom?
I believe it's 15.
15?
Yep.
Okay. You are it feels like you should be able to easily defeat this weak attempt at mesmerism, but in fact, you are so sure that you can defeat it that you start to be drawn into it. So paradoxically, you feel like it's I could never fall for something like this, and before you know it, you're under its spell and frozen in place by the power of its mesmerizing eyes. So
Wow.
for a moment, you're just caught in its stare. Then Zartet, what is your wisdom?
14.
look at that mesmerizing demon stare coming at us right there. 14. Okay. So Zartet, it attempts to do the same stare attack to you. It feels as if all of you are weak. But your willpower is something that it cannot overcome, and in fact, it's so certain that it has you in its grip that it leaves itself open, and you are able to attack it again. You go after it with your spear, and manage to lance it right through the belly with the point of your spear, and it doesn't even attempt to dodge because it expects your weapon to do no damage. But what it doesn't know is that it's imbued with druidic power.
Shillelagh. In your gut.
Yeah, that's the
He
demon.
did a prayer.
Yeah, the demon suffers 13 points of damage from your critical hit into its.
I'm just like,
okay,
fuck
Kunz
you,
immediately.
you hell beast.
Immediately, when Zartet skewers this demon, you are released from its mesmerism. All right, so Logic, you have now crept around to the side of this guy and can attempt a sneak attack if you would like.
That is what I shall be doing with my very nice dagger.
Which dagger are you using?
It's a very nice one.
The nice one, the very nice one.
Which one is the nice one? Remind me.
So I have the nice one is the one that we found from the guy that fell off the cliff when I died the very first time.
All right. Well, you're about to find out whether or not it's magic. All right. So you creep up behind the demon, which is not difficult to do because it's distracted by the spear jutting out of its guts. Here, hold on. Let me get this where you can fucking see it.
I see it. Nice. Hell yeah.
Holy shit. Well, that's one way to go about it right there.
Nice.
So this is perhaps the cleanest strike that you've ever made with a backstab. Your dagger just drives right into its spine. And like immediately, the almost as soon as you make your strike, where it goes through the spine and into the heart. Oh, check out this cat. That's hilarious. Almost immediately, the demon starts to harden and turn into brass. As you barely pull your sword out in time, Zartet, you wrench your spear back, and it cannot complete the transformation in time, and just bursts into flame and begins tumbling apart in separate chunks. These begin to burn off, and it just leaves nothing but charred blackness along all over the area there. Just everything is coated with black and purple crumbling dust. The demon is slain. God damn. I didn't know.
Oh, yeah.
Hell
1-2
yeah.
punch there.
Wow.
Yeah. Jesus. Yeah, that was a hell
I'm
of a
gonna
backstab.
give Angie my good berry. Zartet has a whole supply of them now, yeah?
I think I'm still on fire.
No. You're
underwater.
like it's burned out by now. But
Okay.
yeah, just the demon fire doesn't burn forever, especially not when the being that created it is dead. So, Kunz, as a wizard, you're aware that this is only a lesser demon. This is the sort of thing that if you were into that sort of thing, maybe in like 2 or 3 levels, you would be able to summon a demon of this level. So it's not a greater demon, which would have massacred everyone, but you're still can convey to the others that you guys just made really short work of this. Normally, a party of adventurers like yours would have been hard pressed to even get to a draw with this, with serious injuries. But instead, you guys defeated it rather effortlessly. And,
I think we just got real lucky there.
Yeah.
Loves Zartet.
Yeah, Logic forevermore. You can be known as Demon Slayer.
Or Logic, sorry, my bad.
Yeah, Logic.
No,
I'll
Zartet,
do it.
Zartet got
I'll
a
do
big
it.
piece
I've
of this
died
too.
almost 3 times, but hey, this makes up for it, right?
That was pretty hardcore.
And he did it all without a lucky silver ring.
Well, it might have been.
Zartet's axed over.
Maybe the silver ring is what saved him from the mesmerism. You'll never know, because nobody has learned detect magic. Okay, so all of you, Angie, you get one of the powerful good berries, so you can heal 2 points of damage there.
So she's at probably 3 hit points.
She has 12 right now.
I'm at 12
Yeah.
now.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was like, fuck it, I'll take a shot. My hip points
Yeah,
are pretty high.
I expected Kuntz to have a chance to go after this demon, but you guys just killed it too quickly.
He would have been dead.
Okay. Yeah. So now that that's cleared up, yeah, it's strange that it's almost unheard of. It's like you're almost like you are the heroes of old, vanquishing demons with impeccable. All right. So now, unfortunately, it doesn't leave behind any loot or anything to track it with. Just a story that you'll remember till the end of your days.
Logic,
And we will.
the Demon Slayer.
Okay, so now it's up to you. Where you guys want to go?
Yo, what did you find down at the base of the cliff, Kuntz?
Yeah. What's up with those rocks?
The rocks are hollow-like, and I didn't have time to see if we could smash them open.
Well, let's go back and look at that.
Yeah, let's smash them.
So you
Okie
keep
dokie.
you keep an eye
Take
on
the hammer and smash him.
now. Who remembers the name of our smuggler?
Jonathan Triangle.
And that was not the name.
The name of the smuggler?
Yeah, the name of the smuggler that we were talking.
Iranagon.
What was it?
I wrote it down.
What was his name?
Iranagon.
X Global.
Oh, Unarigan.
Unarigan. There we go. Thank you very much.
Unarigan.
You forgot the
I
name?
wrote it. Dude, I've got
No,
handwriting.
Angie wrote it down. Yeah, that's amazing.
Oh, okay. It's
Okay.
Unarigan.
So you make your way to the wall and realize that it is a false wall, cleverly crafted, and in fact, even Logic didn't notice it when he was scaling up to the cliff. Yeah, whoever made it was quite skilled here. So yeah, you're at but Logic, now that it's been drawn to your attention, you can see that this is a false door, and you could attempt to get it open.
Is it trapped?
Ah, well, it's good. It's funny you should ask that. You could check if you would like to.
Let's send Angie to go check it out.
I would definitely like to use my special thief skill of find and remove traps to attempt to see if there are any traps on the door.
Okay, what is your percentage chance to find and remove?
In front of it or around of it.
Say what?
My find remove traps is 65%.
Let's see what you can find. Yeah, you don't see any traps. It seems okay to you.
We're good to go, guys.
You don't see any traps.
But you also
All right.
don't see a way to get it open. Yeah, you can't see like any sort of lock-in mechanism or anything. Yeah, it just seems like it's just maybe it's bolted into the
I'm gonna
lock
knock
itself
on it.
somehow. Okay, you knock on it and you can hear a hollow sound, but the wood seems fairly thick. You're an expert in thickness of doors and so forth, and you think this might be a solid
And wood.
4-inch slab of wood.
Are we able to call through it? To be like, yo,
Wait,
what's up?
Logic,
Unarigan?
do you see a door handle or anything?
You don't see a handle or anything
No,
like that.
I don't
yeah.
see. No, it's pretty thick. It's about 4 inches of wood here, I guess. Anybody got anything that could maybe
Yeah, Kuntz, get the hammer.
get through 4 inches of wood?
Hammer's
Well, I mean, I can try prying it open, but you can't hammer through 4 inches of wood.
Yeah, I don't think there's any traps. I think we're good to go.
All right. I mean,
All right, so I proceed to take my very, very rare hammer to the door, and I put the claw in there, and I'm just wrenching on it real good like, and my my open doors is 5. I don't know if that means anything.
Okay. That's actually kind of useful because it is a strength check to like batter down a big slab of wood with a claw hammer. So you start bashing your way through this wood, and it doesn't seem like it's giving at first, but there's a little bit of shake to it, and under your repeated blows, you feel the wood start to shift and splinter a little bit under your hammer strikes. And the more you hit it, the more it seems to like sort of resonate with your strikes, and you feel like you're really getting somewhere. Right up until the time that rocks start crashing down on top of you. Let's see. So Kuntz,
I'm gonna grab Kuntz and jump back.
you are struck by a hail of stones Who said that they were grabbing Kuntz and jumping back? So Logic, you were also
That was
in the
me.
immediate area.
Oh,
So
16 decks.
yeah. So let's see if you were
I think my
able.
dex is also 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you triggered the trap, Kuntz. So you were not able to get away from it, but Logic was able to pull the two of you mostly free. So instead of suffering 12 damage from being struck by stones, you suffer a mere 6. Thanks to your friend who pulled you out of the worst of the harm's way. So there's a great clatter of stones, and many rocks have collapsed on top of it. But you, now that the dust settles and you're choking and wheezing, and you now can see how the door was rigged so that if anybody messed with it over much, it would trigger this kind of small landslide and hopefully kill whoever was trying to do it. So yeah.
Well, you learn something new every day,
Yeah.
man. I'm sorry.
Uranigan, or Uriagan, help. Uranigan is apparently like a little bit craftier than what you've seen before, Logic. But this failure gives you experience in thievery, and you won't soon forget this. So Unarigan, working carefully together, you managed to bust a hole into this and look inside. You can see dust and everything filtering inside. And when you look in, you can see where the door is barred from the inside. And through the hole, you manage to reach down and pull the bar free with great care. This time, Logic, having learned from your mistakes, you tie a little bit of string to the bar and use that to pull it up in case there are more traps inside. Once the bar is released, you're able to slide this whole false wall open. So it looks like it was sealed from the inside and there was no way in. So, all right, well, we've been at this for like an hour. Before we go deeper into this, you guys want to pause and get a drink?
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Let's do it.
Yes, please.
Back in 5.
Thank you.
Be right back.
Motherfuckers act like they forgot about you, Nerrigan.
Wow. I'm gonna use that title, Demon Slayer, forever.
I can't believe you just critted him right in his spine. Jesus. That fight was gonna go on for an hour.
I was terrified when the purple flames didn't go out underwater with Angie. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, she was in some trouble
What
right there. Yeah.
are we gonna do when we're all dead in adventure number 9?
Shout out to Hibachi right there. Yeah, big thank you to Ra, who just hooked us up right here. With
I love that Raw.
yeah, Ra's a fucking real one right there. Like, racing cars, contributing to IRC artists, not taking any shit from anybody. Hell yeah.
This watermelon one sucks ass.
Oh, which one did you get?
That's a high noon.
Yeah, High Noon.
Yeah, I got a whole pack.
It's all watermelon? Oh, no, it's a
No,
variety at least, yeah. Yeah, I never liked fake watermelon flavor. That shit is the worst.
Yeah, the only one that I had was the watermelon so far, and it's disgusting. But I'm working on it. I'm gonna try the other ones slowly, but
Yeah, like, with, what have I got? Like Bon Vive or whatever? It's all acceptable.
yeah. I mean, I guess I'll find one. Black Man said that there was an orange one, but I couldn't find a pack that had it. So
These Trulies. I know you guys are drinking. Yeah, totally.
Very
Big
finished
surprise.
line.
You got trolled by.
Yeah,
Black Man.
we're all drinking
fuck
girl
my
water.
life.
Why would you take
No, but
advice
these
from Black
Trulies-
Man? Yeah. Yeah, Tropical Punch?
They're this is Tropical Punch. This is the best, but they're in colored cans. Like they're not the normal berry kind. And they're in a bright red pack. If you ever get the chance, these are by far. Oh, they're amazing. These are 10 times better than normal Trulies.
Damn, 10 times.
Yeah, it's like the fast lane to fuck up.
I don't know. I believed Black Man. I don't know. Well, I
Why
haven't
would
tried
you
the other
ever
one.
listen to Black? All he knows about is heroin. God. Like,
Yeah, he said these were the best.
He actually
songs.
knows a lot of shit.
yeah, he knows a lot
About
of shit about
all-
heroin.
I don't know. He was chatting normally, so I was like, okay.
Oh, did we finally break him? God, that only took
Did
like
you see
6
my?
months.
Did you see my meme?
No, oh, wait, where's this meme? All right, I gotta see this one. God, if we ground him down, that was
How
like,
very weirdly, he knows a lot of things about finance that I would not expect him to know about.
he actually is like some kind of a
weirdly
savant.
specific things.
Yeah, like he went to medical school at some point before everything fell apart for him. Yeah, Bruce L is like, he's an interesting guy. He drove a BMW for at least a little bit, so there's a chance he'll shoot up a dealership. But
Okay, I just posted an LRH.
all right, let me see this meme. I'm clicking.
Clicking.
It was 2 seconds of effort while I was at work, maybe.
Oh yeah.
It's so.
But right, like, and then he started chatting normally, and I was like, okay, like, you're cool, like, whatever.
Yeah,
I know a couple chatters that could be about.
yeah. He just spurgs out like 2 seconds.
Yeah, that is amazing. That's one of my favorite ones I've seen in a while.
Yeah, there's all I'm gonna say is that there's definitely like a puzzle piece on the back of his dad's car, you know, like fucking autism.
Multiple, even.
Snakes. One for each of his offspring. All right, so we'll wait for Kuntz to get back here. But I'm interested to find out about the potential layer of Uriagan.
You're right. Again.
How many times has that name changed?
It's. I spelled it UNARA. Wait, RAGON. I can't talk. Sorry.
Oh, I thought it was you ran again.
It is Uranigan.
Unarigan.
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 Unarigan. That's it. It's definitely Unarigan.
Yanarigan.
He's like one of
Because
those
I had it
legends
when I
where
Update
did
my
it.
record.
his fame has spread so far that it's started to pick up like regional accents.
You ran again.
No, I definitely wrote down Unarigan.
Unarigan. All right.
Unarigin.
Unarigan.
You're
I
right,
probably
Jim.
said it. I probably said it like every single one of these ways. Right there.
Urine again.
That's all too.
Yeah, I'm gonna try the blackberry one. Hopefully it's better.
Oh, you're just throwing that one out? Oh God. Yeah.
No, I killed
Look
it.
at the
Oh, you killed it
sleeping
already?
puppy.
Oh, look. Oh, he's so
Oh,
tired.
oh man. I'm trying to fix my
It's
face.
like next to the little like wide open eyes under the watchful eyes of himself. The dog is famous.
Little teeth.
Oh, fucking
Oh,
amazing
what a
right
sweet boy.
there.
The vet said he was fat, and I need to not feed him so much.
He is fat. Yeah, you're.
The vet said that about
100% right.
Glitch. She's on a diet and she doesn't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've started giving puppy like usually like when I take him out for like walks and stuff, I give him a treat when we come back, and lit up by his like the shittiest treats that are just like they're like bacon strips or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
So
You don't
I
get
got-
greenies.
Yeah, like it's.
Yeah,
Just keep in mind,
I
like
have some-
what makes dogs fat is not treats per se, but like it's more like the volume of the kibble that they get there, and they're like so unhappy when you reduce it.
yeah, he's already like pissed, and so I started giving him like a little piece of like a health bar from Blue Buffalo, and he
Yeah.
looked at me like he was pissed when I gave him like a little piece earlier. He was just like, "What the fuck is this? Where's the rest of it?"
Nah, you'll totally like add years to his life. Like but yeah, like my advice when your dogs start to get fat is like you have to cut down on kibble, and then they're more like food motivated, so treats are like a better like sort of behavioral type thing. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
like their
Hungry
kibble and
dogs run
exercise level.
faster.
Oh, you're gonna get him intermittently fasting.
We only
Oh, I
eat.
mean, hungry dongs run faster.
What the fuck? You couldn't say it at all without talking. All right. Let's find out what's in Uriagan's lair. Okay. So who is going to venture into the lair first? Now that you've got the door open. All right, so Logic, you're creeping in. So you were at a hot 65%.
Can I take a torch? Can we make a torch?
Yeah, you guys don't have a torch right now. I'm trying to think if you even have the materials to make one right here. I think you're limited to natural
I even
light
used
right
part of my sock.
now. You would
Do you
just
have
have like the
socks?
one sock.
Oh.
Man.
I have the very nice brandy, which I could use a little bit of to spark it.
Okay.
But with
Yeah, you do
what?
have a bottle of brandy, but right now it's the
Wait,
middle of the
what?
day. You know, like you can see inside of this lair just by looking inside.
Okay.
Right.
And that's what I'll do, because I won't take a lit flame into the meth lab.
Okay. Again, you don't see any traps.
We're not in Florida.
No,
Yeah.
he makes the fucking.
Do you wanna go
booze,
inside
though.
and
Blow
look around?
up.
Logic. Can you hear me? Oh yeah. So again, you don't see any traps.
Yes.
Do you want to go
I can hear
inside
you.
and look around?
I sure do, yeah.
Okay. So,
Can I, now that I've learned something from Unarigan's trap making and style, maybe I will check for traps once more.
So the way that checking for traps work is that you get one check. Now you can proceed inside with maximum care, going like very, very slowly, taking extra
That's
time.
what I will do then.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, you have sneak, don't you? You can just use infinite sneak.
so you move inside, taking a special care right here because you've been fooled by Uriagan before, and this is what saves you, because as you move inside, an almost invisible trip line just brushes up against your ankle, and you're like, oh shit, and you think that it didn't trip, right? So you pull your leg back, and it's when you pull your leg back that the trap fires.
Uh-oh.
All right, so a crossbow bolt
Oops.
nails you in your left shoulder. You take 8 points of damage. Uriagan doesn't fuck around. All right, so now you're really starting to get an idea for the way that this guy hides traps. He's just got a subtle genius to the way that he has rigged up this entrance here. But now you're sure you won't get fooled again. but we'll see. So entering into this, what you're seeing is sort of a complex of caves. And fortunately, like up against the wall, you can see an oil lantern that is unlit. And you can see what looks like a reservoir of oil still in it there. So if you wanted to, you could pull down this oil lantern and get some light.
Knowing
Very
Unarigan as
skeptical
I
of
do
traps.
right. I don't think that I'm going to necessarily pull anything off of walls or whatever.
No.
No, you can check it for traps.
Oh, I can check it for
You
traps.
can check this for traps. Every new thing that you check out is a chance to check.
Oh,
for
okay,
traps.
then I will check this for traps.
Okay,
Maybe it's a pressure plate or something.
you don't think this is trapped, but you're really not sure at this point. You've gotten stung twice.
Do I have to take it off the thing to light it?
You don't have to do anything.
Well, and maybe lighting it is the trap.
Yeah, you could definitely light it where it stands, or you could pull it off of the wall, whatever you choose.
Nobody
well,
has.
let me-
You feel like this time you're
Well,
sure
I'm
that
sure
you found the
Unarigan
trap,
does.
but like there's that lingering piece of doubt at the back of your mind. Did I really find the trap? Been wrong twice.
Which just
before?
broke her toy.
No.
Well, can I see in here?
Yeah, you can see in here fairly well.
Well, then I don't want to do that.
But what you can't see is deeper into the cave. So what
Okay.
what you're at
So
right
that
now,
was my question. So
what you're at right now is
I
like
will-
an entryway.
Oh, God.
Let me describe what you see here. So you have the lantern hung on the wall, and there are some sets of boots. There a set of hit waders, a fishing pole. Really, this is just sort of like the mud room of Unarigan. And then
yeah,
there is
I won't take it off the thing, but I'll light it, I guess.
Okay. You are able to light the lantern, the oil lantern, without issue. A warm, flickering glow fills the room, and then nothing else happens.
Oh God. Okay.
So it's like a mud
I
room.
was afraid it was
So
gonna explode. I'm gonna tell Zarted I'm on fire now.
there's like another passageway through
Yeah.
this.
So there's a
part of
passageway through this. It's dark beyond.
All right, so he lit the lantern.
Yeah. Nothing happened when he lit it.
Well, I'm gonna check for traps along the tunnel. I'm gonna advance tactically so that I'm not, blundering into something stupid. But I'm also gonna be checking for traps at least along the mouth of the tunnel.
Okay. Getting as close to as far as you can see, immediately you discover that there is a pit trap up ahead. Like it's sort of like a false floor carved into the stone, where if you go across it and put all of your weight down on it, it will give away and you'll fall through. And you find it, you realize that it's hollow, and it just seems like you can skirt along the edge of the hall's about 5 feet wide. The pit is dead in the center of it, so you can just skirt around the edge and you won't fall into the pit trap. But after that, it gets too dark to see.
Can we throw a rock
Maybe
on
we
the
can-
trap to see if we can see what it does?
Or
a heavy
just call
boulder?
for Unarigan here, maybe?
Yeah, be like, yo, we know it's you.
You know, good.
Do you want to yell for Unarigan?
Let's move to the sides of the tunnels when we do this. If we
So you scream, Unarigan! And the sound of your voice echoes inside, but there is no reply.
The lantern is something we
Yes.
could take, though, right?
Yeah, you could absolutely take the lantern off of the hook if you
Okay, that's what I was
Can we yell are you okay?
I do
to,
that.
set a pretense that
You totally could.
we're not here to kill them.
Yeah, you.
That's
can
a
if you
good
want
idea.
to. Okay, you call out to Unarigan, inquiring as to his well-being. There is no answer.
He did.
Maybe he's
I
asleep.
take the lantern.
Okay, so you take the lantern. It comes easily off of the wall there, providing an ample amount of light for you to
I
see
didn't
by.
notice any trap trigger or not trigger or anything like?
No.
Okay.
But if a trained thief couldn't, would you?
Yeah. No.
Okay. So Zartet has a lantern. You could proceed down the hallway if you'd like to.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I'll. Can I have a good berry? Just one, man.
Oh,
To
yeah.
stop the bleeding on this thing.
Yeah.
I might need a
Thanks.
good berry.
Yeah. You patch Logic up. Logic, is your character left-handed or right-handed?
I would assume right-handed, but as a thief, I would try to become ambidextrous as possible. However, doing the whole like twitch movements, it's right-handed.
Yeah. Okay. That's good because your left arm is took some severe damage here. So if you have to fight with your left arm, you're going to be at a penalty for a couple of days right there. Just keep that in mind. That that crossbow bolt is not nothing. But luckily you don't feel poisoned so far. All right. So now you have a light behind you. You could venture down the tunnel if you want. I assume that you're telling the other people about the trap.
Yeah, I'm going to tell everybody about the traps, and I mean, I have to go.
Yes.
So, Zarta, you need to be like right behind me, or at least within 5-10 feet behind me.
Or you could
Because this sucks.
you could easily hold the lamp yourself.
Well, I would do that. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it would make a lot more sense.
Oh, the reason I didn't say that was because I was going to ask if there were supplies in the mudroom sufficient to make a torch just to have in reserve.
Yeah, like most of the stuff that's in there is made of leather, not the kind of thing that makes a good torch.
Okay, I am going to take one boot, however, with me.
You take a boot with you in your injured arm and hold the lantern with the other, and manage to avoid falling through the pit while carrying all this stuff. All right, so you venture deeper in and search. You don't find any additional traps, and then you reach the next chamber, which appears to be a sort of like vaulted storage. It's actually much larger than you would have expected. So this is at one point it must have been a salt cave that's been hollowed out, and everywhere you can see casks of wine and sacks of rice and bundles of all types of foodstuffs and so forth. It looks like Uriagan was preparing to hide out down here for a long time. There are barrels of water, just all manner of things. It looks like the hold of a ship preparing for a long voyage over here.
It's his Doomsday Bunker.
Well, I'm going to motion everybody forward, tell them what I see, say that I don't think there's any traps. There's plenty of water and food. But I'm also going to like turn around and like yell, whisper, "Unarigan!" down. Is there what the exits to this room?
Okay.
Forward from here.
So, looking out of this room, there's only one way out, and it's another sort of tunnel that moves off a little bit to the left. So you've got this storage room, and then sort of like this exit to a mudroom here, and then a tunnel that moves off to the left. So if you'd like to keep going, you could search deeper into here.
I would like to, but I'm going to wait for the rest of the party to catch up into this room.
Everybody catches up into the larder, and you continue to search, looking for traps. Ooh. Okay. So, it's just not your lucky day here. As you're moving forward, you spot a trip line and think, this time I've got him, right? And you step easily over it, not seeing another trip line just at forehead height, right there.
Oh.
And again, a crossbow bolt flies at you. Fortunately, this one just glances off of your already injured shoulder, doing you another 4 points of damage. And you guys hear the twang of a crossbow going off, and you see a bolt flying into the room, and you hear a Logic shout, "Fuck!" But look, I guess Unarigan got him again. So Logic lost another 4 points. How many hit points do you
Is
have?
there much more to this cave that we can tell from just what we see?
It's much larger than you thought it would be from the outside.
Hmm.
So you're not really sure how deep it goes, to tell you the truth. But this is winding over towards the left.
All right. So like Logic looks
Oh.
pretty hurt right now, huh?
Yeah, he's hurting. for
Oh.
certain.
Maybe I should have cast
Well,
Bark
I'm not-
Skin on him sooner.
Near death, but you know.
Yeah,
Well, if we got much further to go here, I'm gonna cast Bark Skin on you.
bark skin on him.
Yeah.
So the problem with bark skin is it's going to make it very, very difficult for him to perform his find traps action, just because it will make him stiffen up right there.
Well, I'm
True.
like, I appreciate it. Thank you very much, but
Okay.
I can't do that. But thank you.
All right, well,
You
I'm here for you
can
anyway.
heal him if you want to.
Okay.
He's taking, actually, like, both of these characters have taken like a pretty brutal beating this session right there.
Yeah, no, like Angie's pretty bad off, and so is Logic.
All right, Logic. How do you feel? So hopefully that's the only trap in the corridor. Do you want to proceed?
Oh, I'm sure it is. Yeah, there's definitely not more traps here.
How far does the tunnel that goes off to the left? How far does that go down?
Well, you got
And then
about
what happens?
you got about halfway through before. Oh, good. There's an update for Creative Cloud. You got about halfway through before the crossbow bolt. Before you stepped over like the one tripwire, and then like got hit by the head tripwire. It's a relatively low thing. It only goes on for about 10 more feet, and you're certain this time that there are no more traps. So
What happens at the end of the 10 feet?
at the end of the 10 feet, there's a door. And this is a heavy wooden door. And
Okay, I'm there.
it appears to be locked.
Well, conveniently,
Uh-huh.
I'm able to open locks. But first, I will attempt to determine if this door is trapped.
Okay.
Yup.
Okay. Yes, it's absolutely trapped. And the particular means of this trap is that you can smell that there's something like a little bit off in the air, just like a weird kind of vinegary smell. And you deduce that the handle of the door is coated in a contact poison that will kill anybody who grips the door and tries to like.
Is it
turn the knob.
possible to perhaps maneuver my dagger?
Put the boot on it.
and
You could easily
Oh, yeah,
turn
or
it
put
with
the
the
boot on
boot.
it.
You could turn it with the boot after you pick the lock. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, I'm going to attempt to pick the lock.
Okay.
I'm going to tell people what's going on, though.
Okay. What's your
Is there
chance-
any? I mean, is it a door that's fairly well in place in a frame, or is it? Are there holes around the doors? Or around the door? Can I see
It's
through
a
the
very
holes?
solid door. It's meant to keep people out. So you can't see through it. You can see a lock, but it's dark on the other side. And you can't really like shine the lantern into it and so forth. So you don't know what's happening on the other side of this door. It's fairly thick and it's made of oak. So if you'd like, you can attempt to pick the lock. What's your chance to do so?
I will. My open locks is 60%.
Let's find out if you can open this lock. So while he is an expert at laying traps, Unarigan is no locksmith. Just a little bit of application of your picks and some patience, and the lock clicks open. With the handle of the boot, you carefully slide the door open, keeping in mind that this might not be the only trap that's there. So the door creaks open, and you warn the others that this handle is coated with poison, and maybe the other one is too. And you look into the next room. So
Am I able to see any tripwires or anything over the door?
You would if you detected traps. You can detect traps. In this
Well,
next
I
room
mean,
if you'd like to.
yeah, I would like to do that. Yes.
Okay. Okay. You don't see any traps in this next room, but at
Well,
this
I'm
point,
confident that I'm at this point. There's no way that
Yeah.
I'm wrong, right?
No. what's happened now is that because you have missed them so many times at this point, you don't see any, but you're certain that they're there anyhow. At this point, you are mind fucked by Unarigan, and you almost have like a stress response to even entering the room, just because he's gotten you so many times before.
So I'm gonna
with the lantern, you're able to see into the next room, and what you see is kind of like a living space, right? Here's an area where there's like a dining table and what looks like a kitchen, and off to the side you can see a door with like a moon cut into it that you assume is some sort of privy.
Do I smell any recent occupation, or like, do I smell any shit, or do I smell any rotting food?
You don't
What do I
smell. What you smell is like a very distant rotting smell of food, but no real stench of like a toilet stink or anything like that. And everything kind of has like that dusty smell that a place gets when nobody has been in it for a while, but maybe like some dishes got left out with some food on them or something like that. But so yeah, you don't see any sign of traps in this living space, and reason that, you know, he wouldn't trap like the space where he lives, surely.
No, I mean, he definitely did. I mean, obviously. Okay, I guess the
Is there a chest or
I don't know,
anything?
it's yeah, I'm gonna tell everybody. You know, I mean, there's probably more. There certainly are more traps. There have to be. And I'm gonna go into the room and look around and see if I can find any traps on the floor, on the ceiling, on the walls, on the bed.
Just leaving us in the dark, huh?
Okay, so you're venturing in. The others, I would assume that the others are following
that's
after
a good
you.
point.
Yeah.
What do you want to
I mean, we can't all follow you into the room, can we?
So you could follow him into the room, because it doesn't. Logic has ventured in, and you take a second. He doesn't. When you don't see him immediately get shot by another crossbow, you let him wander around a little bit more just to be sure, and it doesn't seem like this is trapped. So here's what you can
Because
do.
I'd want to stay in the light.
Yeah.
Can I see?
What do you want to do there, Angie?
Is there light in the food room? I don't remember.
There's no. The only light that you guys have here is Logic's lantern. So you've got to kind of follow along with him to stay in the light.
Okay, I just want to kind of hang back a little bit just in case.
Yeah, it's totally understandable right there.
Trying to feed the cat. Be right
okay.
back.
Okay, go for it. So
What is the dimensions of this room, and are there any exits that are immediately obvious?
So this room is about 20 by 20. It's got a dining room table in it, a kitchen counter, and what looks like a wood-burning stove with a chimney cut into the roof. So, yeah, our friend Unarigan is quite industrious right here. Also, you can see what looks like a liquor cabinet with bottles and bottles and bottles. And just tons of booze is available. And there are more empty bottles kind of lined up alongside the cabinet full of liquor as well. So you see one other hallway that kind of leads to another locked door, and you see a sort of like a bedroom type situation. Inside of it, you can see a bed, but it's dark inside, and you would have to go into another room to check it out.
Which direction is the door? Is the short hallway with the door at the end of it, and which direction is the bedroom?
The short hallway with the door to the end of it is to the left. To your immediate right is the privy, and then a little bit further in the far right corner is the room with the bed in it.
Well, I'm going to wait until everybody catches up.
Uh-huh. So in this room also, you can find some more lanterns. There are 2 additional lanterns here. One of them has almost no oil left in it, but another one is full.
Can I take the one with like little oil left in it and go?
There's not enough to even light it. Yeah.
What?
There's not even enough oil left in it to light it. It's just like a thin.
Fuck.
Yeah, the wick won't cape.
Am I able to like pour a little bit out of the one into hers and like even it up?
You could easily equalize these lanterns so that everybody has a half full lantern.
Yeah.
Okay, so you do so and light all the lanterns. What do you guys want to do now?
I want to check for traps on the far door without touching anything.
Okay.
I want to give this room a once over. Seriously.
Okay. So you guys all wait while Logic gives the room a once over. You can't see where the traps are, but you know they're there. You just know it. But the guy is just such a clever trapper. You're beginning to see why he was able to elude capture for so long. So
yeah, I'm not moving over any tracks I haven't taken already. I'm just kind of standing in the middle of the room.
So Logic, in fact, you're so sure that there are traps in there that you resort to like one of the older thieves' tricks in the book, which is just throwing things down the hallway and seeing what happens. Right?
Love it.
And indeed, your suspicion pays off. Right? You throw the boot down the hallway, and it clicks onto a pressure plate, and then a whole harrow of crossbow bolts fly through the whole thing. Fortunately, everybody is well out of range, so it is something like 4 or 5 crossbow bolts that thud into all directions of the thing, and then you can hear a click, and the hallway is still. So it's a shame that none of you has a crossbow because you have so many bolts here. But then you give that corridor a once over again. You carefully inspect the doorknob. You don't see any poison on this knob, and it's another door that is locked. So you can attempt to pop that lock, or you could inspect the room that has a bed in it. Oh, you're muted.
What do you want to do?
There we go. What were you saying?
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay.
What do you guys want to do? That's a good question. Because my instinct is first of all to loot, but definitely to keep going and see what's going on here.
Well, I figured you were like, a pig and shit over getting to do thief stuff. So
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of looking around, standing in one place with my half full lantern, trying to see what I can see in this living or in this den area of the cave.
Okay.
Can I track anything to see like how long it's been since anybody's really been here, or
It's been about 3 weeks since anybody's been inside of here, Angie.
as far as we know?
All right. So Kuntz, you're like peeking around, being careful not to like hit any traps or anything there, and you notice that inside of the next room, you just notice a very heavy padlock that holds like a door that's like heavy and has steel bands on it. So there's like a bedroom type thing, and then there's a very heavily barred door set into a frame of solid oak.
Wait, so just to make sure, the door that I was going to open locks on is not the same door, correct? This
Correct.
door that Kuntz sees is in the bedroom.
Yeah,
Is that correct?
in the bedroom. Yeah, and it's heavily reinforced.
Okay.
It's actually a tidy little cave.
Which side of that bedroom is the door?
So there's the bed, and then on the opposite side of the bed from you, there's this heavy door. And as you look through the bedroom, you can see a lot of books. And Kuntz, let me see, you're the only one that can read them because they're written in Yarly right there. These are books of Yarly erotic poetry.
Oh, it's my favorite kind of poetry. Anyways, I'm using my hammer to try and get that door open up.
Okay.
Even though it's locked, I mean.
Yeah. So it's a pretty heavy padlock, but it's a pretty heavy hammer that you have right there.
I'm gonna say,
Yeah.
wait. Let me check it for traps first.
No, there's no time.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay,
There's
I
loot.
stand back.
All right.
There's
so
loot in here.
it takes 3 mighty whacks
Bam!
to
Kablam!
to
Kablamo!
knock this padlock to pieces. So it
Nobody would
falls-
ever put a trap on their treasure.
yeah. So, yeah, it falls to pieces right there, and you're able
Nice.
to work the hasp free. You could open the door if you want, or you could wait to see if there are traps.
I'm gonna stand aside. Hey, Logic! Logic, come in here!
So Logic,
Alright,
you can
alright,
hear
alright.
you can hear like a bunch
Logic.
of banging and
This is-
hammering, and
It looks like this lock is just laying on the floor. I don't know how it got there, but you want to try opening this door there, buddy?
I know how it got
Well-
there, but I'm not going to open the door. I'll check it for traps, though.
All right.
you see immediately you find the trap. Had Logic tried to open up that door without pulling out a little pin, a blade was going to, a spring-loaded blade was going to fire out and strike him in the chest.
Dodged.
But it never fires off because you find the pin and pull it, disarming
What
the
kind
trap.
What kind of blade is this? Can we take it as a weapon? Is it light enough for me to haul around?
It looks like they just rigged up the blade of a sword to kind of like shoot out of the door at an angle. Out of
Does
the
it have a
side
handle?
of the door. You don't see a handle though.
No? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We'll just discard this sword then to the side.
Well, it hasn't. The trap hasn't fired.
okay.
It's still spring loaded and ready to kill.
Yeah. In the meantime, while he's looking at that thing, I'm going to push the door open.
Okay. So when you
Peer inside the other side.
when you swing the door open, you find your Ryan's treasure. So here is all everything that he is held in reserve. So not only is there all the money that he had accrued, which
How
is
big is the room?
it's a relatively small room. I would say it's about 6 by 10, but it's heavily reinforced. And inside, you can find there's a strong box on a table, but more importantly, you see a suit of chainmail armor hung up on the wall that's been recently scrubbed. It's in excellent condition right there. You can see a tooled bow of ebony wood, right? A quiver of arrows, and on the wall is a fencing sword. So, in addition to all of that, you can find several bars of iron. It really does look like he was storing a cache against the end of the world right here. So there are
Okay,
a
I'm
lot
going to
of,
check for traps in here.
you don't find any traps.
The lockbox.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I can't help it. I'm going to tell people what I see in there, and I'm just going to grab the lockbox.
Well, when I say lockbox, it's not as if you can just pick this thing up. It probably weighs about.
Oh, it's
100
not.
That's a strong
You know, like
it's
box.
a strong
something
yeah.
like this. Oh, it's a strong box. Okay. Well, I'm going to focus on that, but I'm going to say, hey, Angie, you might want to come in here.
Okay.
Oh, what is
I would
this?
be
A
in the
strong
room
box?
too because like we
Yeah.
just opened.
Yeah,
the
you're-
door.
you're all there.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
grabbing money and putting it in my pocket and shit.
Yeah, I don't think we can
Um,
get away with it. Okay. So you can make a
You
separate.
try your silver key on that lock. Don't you have that
Say
key
again?
from the brandy? The key that was wrapped around the brandy? You think that could open
Oh,
the strong
yeah.
box?
Oh my god,
Oh,
it
that's
makes
a good
sense.
idea.
Try it.
I'll try it. Oh, Jesus. It makes perfect sense. I'll definitely try it.
The silver key slides into the lock perfectly, and you turn it, and it immediately falls open.
Wow.
Oh yeah!
So inside,
Wow.
Holy fuck, yeah.
so inside of
Big
the
brain.
inside at the top of the strong box, there are a number of letters written in Yarly, but it's in a like a sort of courtly script form of Yarly that even you can't read it, cunts. From what you get, they appear to be love letters.
Yeah, A plus A.
And then underneath of that is a substantial amount of gold, silver, and rubies. So all told, there are about 150 pieces of gold, like some 60 odd pieces of silver, and 3 large and well cut rubies.
Well, I'm going to distribute this.
Let's try to find a way to carry it first. We leave it in the strong box.
That's true.
It's
That's a
the
good point.
strong box is
But
too heavy to carry.
Angie, you see this armor?
Yeah, there's a suit of
Yeah, I
chainmail
want
armor
that.
on the wall. You
And
take
the
a look
bow
at it.
and the arrows.
So Urian was a little bit shorter in the arms than you were, but all in all, the armor is almost a perfect fit. It needs only slight modification to be perfectly right for you. So you can wear this armor, and if you get it adjusted by an armorer at some point later, it will be an even better fit and afford even better protection. But you now have a full suit of chainmail armor, which you can wear. In addition, there's a bow on the wall. It's a bow of blackhorn ebony, and a quiver with 25 arrows.
Yay!
Ebony.
We're going to kill everything.
Yeah.
Well, 25 things.
What are you gonna do with your old bow?
Can I use the old
You can't
I might
dual
be able to
bows.
use
You
that.
need both hands for a bow.
You could
What?
dual wield bows.
Yeah, you can't
You
do
really
wield
can't.
bow.
You
Oh,
really
come
can.
on. She could use her feet.
God, that's ridiculous.
don't
right
say
there.
that word.
Hey,
Can I
Logic.
use a bow?
Not on
Maybe I can use a
stream.
bow.
Hey, Logic.
Oh, F's navel.
Logic, do you have a like detect secrets roll or a what's the closest thing that you have to that?
Detects like. Well, I find her with traps, read languages. No, I don't really have like a Baldur's Gate style sort of
Gotcha.
It
Let's
would just be
detect
perception,
secret,
wouldn't
or
it?
like
Yeah.
an elven. I
let's
think it
just
would be,
do
but
this.
that's a great question.
Okay. You get the sense that you're missing something, but you don't know what.
I'm going to search the
Who
room.
knows Yarly?
So Kunz knows a little bit of Yarly.
Goodness knows.
Yeah,
What's that?
Kunz, there are some letters, some love letters here, in Yarly,
Yeah, read this, not the corn.
but you could attempt
Any
to decode
mention
them
of
if you
A
want.
loves A? A heart A?
I'll
I mean, we
take
know
a
they're
look
love
at
letters,
them.
but is there anybody named A? Because Unarigan, his name don't begin with A.
Because I
begins
believe
with-
having 15 wisdom allows me to know 6 languages. Is one of these my languages?
That's
Yeah,
sweet.
so you know Yarly, but this
Perfect.
is
Okay.
so this is written in script, so it takes you a little bit of time to puzzle it out. But what you're able to find out is that Unarigan was in a relationship with a woman named Anara. And apparently there are some like fairly torrid love letters between the two. Anara was married. And then so she and Unarigan carried on a like some sort of a relationship as you begin to do it. And he tells her like the last letter is one where he invites her to come and stay with him at his home, to forsake his own. And he says, you'll always have my heart. It's at the very bottom of what's dear to me. And you can see that this is, it just by looking at this, there are like lots of like crossed out places and so forth. And you can see that this is a draft of the letter that he wrote, right? It looks like he wrote this first and then wrote the letter again. And this was just his first attempt at it, right? So, and you can see like a lot of spaces where he's like crossed things out and gone back over it and so forth. It seemed like he was really trying to make it right. And at the end, he signs it, "Your Little Ant," A-N-T. So you're not sure exactly what the meaning
Is there
of that.
anything else in that bottle of like really fancy whiskey?
Well, it had the key, and it like the really fancy brandy inside of it.
Okay, brandy.
So-
Thank you.
So that's the sum of it. Like, yeah,
All right.
there's a
Does he have
letter.
like a pillowcase or something we could put all this?
Yeah, you could take one of his pillowcases and fill it with loot, and then draw a $sign on it.
Make a bindle.
Yeah, you could easily keep that in there. And then so Kunz, you have the letter. You have my heart. It's at the bottom of what's dearest to me.
Cool.
What is dearest to this guy?
So I'm like that's an item.
I mean,
in
it's
my
not
inventory
booze.
now,
There's
the
no way
letter?
it's
That's what I
booze. Right?
said.
Say that again.
You did, but
Hello?
oh, I mean, I don't know. Is that true, or is that just a means to an end? I mean,
don't know.
booze can't be what's truly dearest to him, right? Well, what's
No, he was evading his fucking taxes forever.
Well, he had quite the little doomsday,
Mm-hmm.
thing down here.
Yeah, let's just live here forever.
You totally could. Yeah.
Right? I was safe from the fucking weird shit.
Good source of water. Ready to go. Indoor plumbing.
Yeah, I don't know how he gets fresh air in there for that chimney to work.
So do we grab the loot or like what are we doing now?
yeah? Well, we're trying to think about what in the fuck is most dear to him. Because, sorry, man, my spidey sense is telling me that
Mhm.
like this is a clue, and we're missing something, and this is just fake treasure for the
What
real
did it
treasure.
say exactly?
Said, look for look for blah 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 underneath what is most dear to me.
He says it said exactly. You have my heart. It's at the bottom of what's most dear to me.
Is there a secret like box underneath the under the rubies?
Hmm.
A secret box
So-
within the box?
Angie,
Secret
struck
box.
by,
False
struck by the
floor.
content of his letters, touched by his heartfelt words, you decide to take a closer look at the bottom of the strong box. And indeed, you find that there is a false compartment underneath it, cleverly concealed so that not even logic could find it. Underneath it,
Wowee.
Here I am literally thinking, like, is his freedom the most important thing? Like, what?
No, it's those rubies, bitch.
it's his money. So
No, it's just the cash.
inside of it is what looks like an engagement ring with a heart-shaped fire opal of incredible value. This is like the type of thing that he must have saved years and years and years for. It really is a
I had a
gemstone
dream about this.
fit for a prince.
Glint of silver beneath a barrow mount. That's what my dream was.
Wow.
And then, so you
Neither of you
guess
guys have
I'm,
detect magic?
Not yet.
they don't rock like that.
Maybe this will be, I mean, meta game here when we reach 6th level here, and Kuntz is able to get detect magic.
I've
I
never.
We're all
can't
gonna
get
be
detect
secretly
magic
glowing.
until level 7 or 8, I think.
Oh, really?
Detect magic
Yeah.
is like a level 1 spell. Either of you could have taken it at any time.
I didn't know it was a good spell.
I mean, really, it's fine. So, Angie, you now have a ring of inestimable wealth. Its beauty almost rivals that of Kuntz's crotch goblet.
Okay, I want to put it in my pocket. I don't want to show that shit off.
Okay, so you take the ring. Each of the rest of you gets one of the rubies.
I was just going to say that takes care of our splitting up the loot problem.
It does indeed. Okay. All right. So you don't feel that there is any more wealth to be had here. There are several weapons about, but nothing is better than what you have here. Like his sword is okay, but it's not better than Bisbee's blade or the short sword that you have, Logic. So all that really remains is that the last door that you haven't explored is the one at the end of the little hall that was just full of crossbow bolts.
All right, so we can split up the loot specifically later. We'll take it in one sack. I'll tie it around my belt. Gold coins and stuff, and then
It's too
I
heavy
gotta
to
go take a look at this other door.
somebody needs to hold this loot. It's too heavy to be at your belt.
Oh, it's
I'll
that
hold
heavy.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll hold it.
Okay.
Zartet being the most trustworthy person. Okay, so Logic, you go to take a look at this door right there. And you're almost totally sure that this one isn't trapped. And when you look at the keyhole, you think the same silver key would fit into it. And indeed it does. So this is
Nice.
the... when you open the next door...
Slowly checking for traps.
you slowly open it and check for traps. You don't find any traps. But what you do find is a man, like, it looks like he's been clawing at that door. And at this point, it is the body of a man with almost like a significant part of his face and neck has just been blown off. So it looks like this is Uriagan, and he was caught in the still explosion and died at his own front door. Because this is another sort of antechamber room. And here you can see he has a crossbow ready to go, a crossbow like sort of right up against the door. There's like a little slit where he can open the door and see out of it or fire his crossbow out of it. This is an area where, like, basically he would hold up and defend his thing. And it looks
Perfect.
like he made it through the door.
You guys, like Zartet, even want a ranged weapon? Because now we have here a crossbow and a shitload of crossbow bolts. Maybe, I don't know, upwards of...
Am I able to use a crossbow with 16
Kuntz can have
dexterity?
it.
So, Kuntz and Zartet, either of you could use a crossbow, but neither of you is proficient in it. You don't have the martial
Right.
training to use it there.
Better than nothing.
People who could use a crossbow are Logic and Angie.
Is the crossbow better for Angie, or is her new bow better?
She would be more skilled with the fancy bow that she just got.
And
Alright.
would I be more skilled with the crossbow or her old bow?
It's your choice. Which of them you prefer, but you definitely have a supply of about 30 crossbow bolts here.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a lot more crossbow ammo.
Oh, then
I'll,
I'll definitely take the crossbow and the bolts then. Sorry, guys.
I'll take
I took about
your
two of them
old
in the arm,
bow.
so.
I'll take your old bow and some arrows, just in case maybe a
It's not a bad
fifth
idea.
member joins our party, or we need it for
I mean,
some
you can
reason.
you can still fire this bow, Kuntz. You just you do so like at a slight penalty. That's all.
Yeah, well, I'll take it anyways. Just you never know in the future.
Okay. Yeah, you guys divvy up a reasonable supply of arrows, I assume. So you can see here where it looks like Urian got caught in this explosion. He limped his way over here. You can see the trail of blood. Looks like he barred the door behind himself. And
I'm
then
going
he
to
died.
loot the body.
Okay. When you look into his body, when you loot his body, you don't find any coins or anything of note there. Around his neck, there is an amulet, but it doesn't seem fancy at all. It's a brass amulet, just on a thong of like common deerskin leather, and the brass amulet is carved just with it's like a little small rose of brass, and you can actually see that his skin is like a little bit green where the amulet has touched it, just as like a reaction to the brass, you guess. But
Quick question: did I get any arrows from you there, Logic?
so Angie is the one with the arrows. So Angie had.
I have 33. How about this? I give you 10.
I don't need any arrows. I just didn't want to leave any behind on the ground or anything.
Yeah, no, they hoover up every arrow that they can find.
Yeah. I'll give you 10, okay?
Okay. So yeah,
I'm going to take off this thong thing that is on his corpse and ask if anybody recognizes this.
Okay. None of you recognize the amulet. It just looks like a cheap trinket that somebody might buy at a market. It's really more appropriate for like a child or something like that. It's strange. It must have some sentimental meaning to Urian.
Well, I'll tie it around my belt.
Urinigan.
Carry on.
God, I can't keep that name.
Or Urinigan.
So
Urigan.
Unarigan.
Unarigan.
So this seems to be the fate of Unarigan, and all of you leave his hideout. Aware. By the way, like I would assume that you guys are taking a fair supply of provisions and foodstuffs and so forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, as whatever we could carry without
Yeah.
being.
Each of you is
encumbered.
easily able to
Well,
get.
even being slightly laden down,
Yeah.
perhaps.
What
Well,
was
you
food
wanna
being
be
so
encumbered?
difficult? Yeah. Yeah. No.
I will even be encumbered in order to do that.
Okay.
I mean, not much, but I'll
Each
do
of
it.
you can comfortably carry about 3 days worth of food from Urigan's stash. So everyone has a supply of clean water and food, and in fact, Zartet, you're able to find a roll of cotton bandages among his supplies, which may come in handy.
Mhm.
And you have the
A
3
supply
lamps.
of alcohol.
And before you leave, you find his supply of oil and fuel up each of the lamps. And then, if you'd like, you could take a flask of oil with you to go, which may come in handy later.
Is there any? Are there any backpacks around here specifically, or could I craft one handily out of some of the crap?
There's one backpack that you're able to find, but only the one. And it seems like it's a little bit
I'll take
musty,
that and
but-
start stuffing shit in there.
Okay. So you're able to. All right. So, what a day for you guys! You defeated a demon. You followed your dreams and found Urigan's treasure. So you're much richer than you were previously. Well done. And you only got to get shot full of like 80 holes to get there. All right. So this concludes our adventure for the evening. All right, and everybody has gained enough experience to reach the next level. So yeah, from what with all the slaying of demons and tripping of traps and so forth there. So I will see you next week. Once again, we're doing this on Tuesdays now, due to Monday Night Football and other factors and so forth. So yeah, it's much better for me too. All right, so thank you to everybody who tuned in. Thanks to Big Angie, Kuntz the Hammerman, Logic, the Demon Slayer, and Zartet, the Archivist, for their thrilling efforts in the 9th edition of IRC D&D. Penis Bomb.
Cheers.